Thank you, Sheriff. And at this time, let me call on someone who is no stranger to us. She's been a community activist on every level, super neighborhoods. You'll find there, civic association, political organizations, holding forums for judicial candidates, all up and down the ladder. Someone who's simply been instrumental in my future and where I am. And that's someone from this side of town, Edna Griggs. Edna, give it up for Edna, and she will be introducing Wendy.
I love it. Thank you. Well, some of the things I want to tell you, my name is Edna Griggs. I am born and raised here in Acres Homes. Thank y'all for being here today. We will make a difference in this campaign. I wanted to kind of tell you what's been happening since June 1st. We've actually made over 7,000, with the volunteers in this area, we have made over 7,000 calls to people in Acres Homes. This has been through phone banking. We have a phone banking on Thursdays, and we do phone banking on weekends. They also canvass. They be out canvassing, knocking door to door. So I want y'all to listen good to this, because what that means is that we need drill as well. So we want you to get involved as well and come out here and make phone calls and canvass with us, because if we do that, we can go back to our grassroots of getting out there, talking to everybody. If everybody talk to somebody, and if everybody take 10 people to the poll, the election's over, we win. And it is time for a change. My personal story, and I want to thank our next, I'm like Erica, our next governor of Texas will be Wendy Davis. Will be Wendy Davis. Okay? Will be. I have been on the trail since the first time I was on a conference call with Senator, it's been a while back, but she had me so fired up on that phone call then, and when I found out she was running for governor, oh yeah, it's on. I am just committed, 100%, I'm committed to her, and I want the community to get out here, let's make it happen, because I know we can. Our next governor of Texas, Wendy Davis.
To our school board trustee, to our sheriff, and of course to Representative Turner, who has been escorting me all around this morning. We, as he said, we visited 6 church services, and we got to worship with 3 full sermons. So we had a wonderful day here today, and I had a chance to speak to a lot of you already, but I'm so pleased that you came back to talk a little bit more about this campaign, about what's at stake, and about how we are going to win. And we are going to win this race with you. We are going to win it because of you. And let's talk about what's at stake for just a moment. I want you to think about the person that I'm running against, Greg Abbott. He is the top of the Republican ticket. And if you need know no more than this, know this, that on that platform, on that Republican Party platform, literally written in the platform, is the continued defunding of public education. And that should come as no surprise to us, because though I stood and filibustered in 2011 a $5.5 billion cut in public education, my opponent has been in court ever since, defending those cuts and trying to keep those cuts in place. But that's not enough. They want to take it even further. Also in their platform is to deny equal pay for equal work for women. And again, this is a bill that I worked very, very hard on in the last 2 legislative sessions. Symphonia Thompson from Houston was the champion of the bill in the House. And if I were really honest about it, I'd say she was the champion of the bill over on the Senate side too. But I got to be the Senate sponsor. And we worked very, very hard on this bill, and we got it passed out of a majority Republican Senate and a majority Republican House, and we proudly delivered it to Governor Perry's desk, and he vetoed it. And Greg Abbott has said that if that bill comes to his desk, he'll veto it as well. So ladies and men who love our ladies, this is a very important issue. Women in Texas are being paid for the same work, dramatically less than men. And we are one of only 4 states left in the country that doesn't have a Fair Pay Act. And that inequality in pay affects all of our families, not just moms who are single heads of household, but moms who are a part of a dual earning family. It affects our communities because it's less dollars that can flow into our local businesses and support those businesses. And we need a leader who is committed, as I am, to signing that bill the moment it comes to my desk. We also see in their platform the idea, the belief that the Voting Rights Act should be repealed. The Voting Rights Act should be repealed. We know what that means. We know who is silenced when we lose those protections. And we've watched Greg Abbott, my opponent, as Attorney General fighting in court to keep discriminatory redistricting maps in place that have cracked apart communities to weaken their voices. We've watched him protect a voter ID law that is aimed particularly at disenfranchising legal voters in our community, a law that the DC panel that heard the case found to have discriminatory impact in communities all over this state. These are their ideals. These are their values. And what those values reflect is silencing the voices of people that they don't care about. Our children are the most important reason that we should get involved in this election. They are our hope, and we are theirs. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we are providing that full-day pre-K, that we are paying our teachers more, that we are giving them access to college through early college high schools and dual credit classes so that college can be accessible and affordable for them. They are relying on us to step up and say no more to these high-stakes standardized tests. Our children need our help. And there are people in communities all over this state who would benefit from a leader who says Medicaid expansion for Texas is a good idea. Bringing down $100 billion of our tax money in the next 10 years is a good idea. Bringing down that money and putting it to work in our communities, where it is estimated to create about 300,000 jobs per year, is a good idea. And we need a leader who is going to say, we shouldn't send our tax dollars to California and New York to subsidize their health care. We should bring our tax dollars back to Texas and put them to work for us. We need a leader who is going to restore the idea that people matter, that individual voices of hard-working people who can't be at the Capitol every day during the legislative session, who can't come to the committee hearings and say, hear me, listen to the things that matter to me and my family. They can't come and do that because they're working full-time, and many of them a part-time job on top of that. And they've got to rely on someone who will carry them with her to the Texas Capitol every day. Someone who has struggled, someone who knows what it is like not to have a voice, and someone who is committed to making sure that the people of this state have a champion someone who is fighting for them every single day. And together, I believe that we are going to make that happen. I have some good news to tell you, and I want to especially brag on the folks in this room who have been making the phone calls and knocking on the doors. And I'll congratulate ahead of time those of you who are going to join that effort with us. But our work is paying off, because just a couple of days ago, a poll was released that showed that we are narrowing the gap and we are single digits behind now. And by the time we get to Election Day, we will have flipped that around. And we will have done that, not because of me. We'll have done that because of all of you, because of people like you all over this state who are willing to invest some time in making a difference in the outcome of this election. People who know what's at stake and are willing to make sure they play a role in turning our state in the direction that it needs to go. We have tens of thousands of people making phone calls, tens of thousands of people knocking on doors. And we have broken every record ever set with involvement in a statewide race. We've also broken an incredibly important record with regard to fundraising. We've raised over $27 million, a statewide record. And what's so powerful about that number is the people who are behind it. Over 75% of our donors have given $50 or less. You know, we get those checks. Someone writes a $3 check to my campaign, or we've got some people who are paying $5 a month out of their paycheck toward our campaign. And when I see those, I know that behind that is a sacrifice. Someone is making a real sacrifice to invest in the future of their state. And when they write that check, they probably think it's not going to make that much of a difference. But when thousands and thousands and thousands of people write checks like that, it makes a difference. And this is what I tell people about the vote, right? The vote, the vote, the vote. When we go and we place our one single vote, we think that vote won't make that much of a difference. But that vote added to your vote, added to your vote, added to thousands and thousands of others who believe that it's important enough to take their time and come and have their voices heard at the ballot box. Before you know it, we've won. And that's what this is all about. Let's make sure that people across this state, people right here in this community, understand that we can't afford to stay home in this election cycle, and that if they will come and vote, we will have a state that reflects the values that they care so deeply about. I am so blessed to be your Democratic nominee for governor, and I look forward to continuing to work with you not only until Election Day, but after Election Day, to be back here working to help with anything that I can possibly be a help in. God bless you all. God bless you. Thank you.
And that was your next governor. Give it up to Wendy.